Hello, hello. Good afternoon. God bless each of you today. It is Saturday, August the 13th. God bless you and praise you for what God has done and what God is doing. I just completed preaching the funeral, the eulogy, and the committal and burying one of my uncles, Mr. David Adger, very fine man, and he will sorely, tremendously be missed by our family. And I thank God for him and the impact that he had on my life as well as the life of our family. I want to go ahead and begin this worship experience. Begin this lesson. I think that these lessons are in and of themselves worship experience. And so I just want to go ahead and share these with you today. Let me go ahead and get my screen up here so we can move on and we can share a word for you very briefly. I want to make sure that those of you who are participants with this video ministry, that you would send an offering. St. Luke members, I trust that you will continue to give. Those of you who have not, make sure that you do so as well. You have the various methods that you can give, and let's go ahead and utilize those. But I appreciate what people do and their giving. Tomorrow morning, the district Sunday school lesson will be taught by the Elaine Chapel Church. The Elaine Chapel Church there, and the rest of us will be commenting there. And let's be prepared for the lesson tomorrow morning there. God bless you. This is the passcode, the meeting ID. Once again, it is chapter 13. It is chapter 13 in my 13th year of pastoral ministry at the St. Luke Church. And I am so grateful for everything that God has done and God is even doing now with his power and with his presence for us at the St. Luke Church. God bless you so very much and so very kindly. Let's look at these August birthdays. I see Ms. Tori Jackson, Edwin Stinson, Eric Pennell, Mr. Eddie Baisley had a birthday the other day, and Brother Larry Taylor, who had a birthday on the 1st of the month, and Joel Fisher and Brother Al O'Neill, God bless you. Brother Al, thank God for you, and Brother Herbert Webb Jr., amen, both of my readers there on Sunday morning, Mr. Stinson and Brother Webb. God bless you having that in common. Sister Barbara Ramsey out there in Texas. Thank you so much for your encouraging words as well. And Brother Gerald Flournoy from the New Hope Church. Happy birthday to each of you during this month of August. Listen, we'll be talking about this outreach ministry project. Our goal is over the period of this year, actually a little shorter period, and I will outline that. I'm asking those of us who would, that we would work toward this outreach ministry project. And ours is going to be Water for Sudan. We want to help to dig a well in one of the most rural areas of the Sudan so that people will have decent and clean drinking water. I believe this is a ministry project that would benefit the least among these. Yes, there are other projects I would like to do as well, and with your help, we will be able to do. And I want to be successful, and I will share more with how to give toward that in next week's lesson. Thank you so much. Back to school. My God, somebody has been praying for me. Somebody prayed for me. I made it through the first 3 days of school. When I came home, I was tired because I had to get accustomed once again to being on my feet all day. And you prayed for me in the dealing with children. And I thank God for that, but I need you to keep on praying. But also, let's keep praying that God put it in our children, your children, everybody's child, the spirit and desire for knowledge that school is that place, that education is that key that is going to make the difference in their lives in the long run. God bless you there. Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, we begin live, I believe, at 10:55. And then that's for our Facebook and YouTube channels. But also make sure that you're in the building. Come in the building and worship with us. I know that there is coronavirus, there is monkeypox, but one thing I have noticed and I have learned is that the church is the only place where people suffer and stay at home, stay away from. We are participants in the church. We're not necessarily consumers. We are people who need to be in the building and in the very presence of God and of God's people. Let's be there. Let's come to church and let's worship God together. Let me go ahead and get into this lesson. This lesson is very interesting, and it is a continuation of last week's. The title of it is A New City. Yes, a new heaven, a new earth, then a new city. You see, in the book of Revelation, as I shared with you last time, it deals with the unveiling or disclosure. John is on the Isle of Patmos, and he is writing to unveil these future events. Talked about these last week: the rapture, the judgments, the bowls that will fall on the earth during the Great Tribulation. There's the emergence of an Antichrist and Jesus' second coming. We don't know when, but we do know that there will be a second coming of the Christ. And then there is the judgment of Satan, where death will finally be defeated. And in this chapter, sin and evil have been defeated. They have been entirely, soundly rejected, demolished. Yes, and they have been thrown into the lake of fire. But John describes the nature of the New Jerusalem, the new city, yes, the heavenly city, which descends onto earth after the ultimate victory over all evil. You see, the New Jerusalem was predicted even before the exile ended. The devout Jews prayed regularly for the restoration of Jerusalem. Eventually, the idea of New Jerusalem came to symbolize hope for the Jewish nation. This brand new city would be a place that was built by God. It will be a place where the righteous would dwell with him in perfect peace forever and forever. When speaking of a city, we're speaking of not only the physical infrastructure, but even the people who dwell in that city. Yes, in this sense, the new holy city, yes, is symbolic of the church as the very redeemed bride of Christ. Let's look at the text. Then one of the seven angels who held the seven bowls containing the seven last plagues came and said to me, "Come with me, and I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb." Yes, the plagues that had been inflicted on the earth, and those bowls, the maladies that came there. That angel said, "Come, I want to show you something. I want to show you something beautiful. The bride, the wife of the Lamb. He is the lion and the lamb." So he took me in the spirit to a great high mountain, and he showed me the holy city, Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. You know, John has already said that I was in the spirit on the Lord's day. And now he says he took me in the spirit to a great high mountain and showed me a city that I had not seen before. It shone with the glory of God and sparkled like a precious stone, like jasper, as clear as crystal. I'm going to show you all of these stones that he talked about there in just a minute. The wall was broad and high. The city was fortified with 12 gates, guarded by the angels, and the names of the 12 tribes of Israel were written on the gates. There were 3 gates to each side. There's a gate in the east. We like to say there's a gate in the north, the south, and the west. The wall of the city had the foundation stones, and on them were written the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. In verse 12, and the names of the 12 tribes of Israel were written on the gates. You remember in the book of Joshua, when they got to the place, I believe it is Gilgal, where he says, go there and put 12 stones, get a man from each and place the stone in the water there, so that when years and generations from now, when your children and your children's children ask, what meaneth these stones? You will be able to tell them that when the water had flooded, God allowed us to go through. When your children ask, oh my God, the angel who talked to me held in his hand a gold measuring stick to measure the city, its gates, and its wall. When he measured it, oh my God, it was a city four square, as it is wide as it was long. In fact, its length and width and height were each 1,400 miles. Then he measured the walls and found them to be 216 feet thick. Oh my God. So in other words, it was an impenetrable wall. Yes, perfect measurements. Heaven is a place that is perfect. And the question might be, what then do we need to be protected from? Because we've all of the tears have been wiped from our eyes. There's no more pain and there is no more sorrow. But God still encompasses around us with his beauty, with his care and his love. The wall was made of jasper, and the city was pure gold, as clear as glass. The wall of the city was built on foundation stones, inlaid with the precious stones. There was jasper, sapphire, agate, emerald, onyx, carnelian, chrysolite, beryl, topaz, chrysoprase, jacinth, and amethyst. 12 gates were made of pearls, each gate from a single pearl. And the street, the main street, was pure gold, and it was as clear as glass. Oh my God, what a beautiful new city. What a beautiful place that we can look forward to. Can you imagine being in a place where the walls, the streets, and the city, the homes, the mansions that have been prepared for us are the precious stones. Yes, all of the 12 that were mentioned, this is what they look like. Look at the beauty of these precious stones that John the Revelator sees and are revealed to him. A glimpse of glory. Yes, nothing compared to what God has in store for us. Yes, we cherish the great things of New York City. We want to see the great buildings of Paris, France. We marvel at the beauty of the structures in London, England, but God has a city that surpasses Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Detroit, yes, Philadelphia, great places. But God has a new city, my. The New Jerusalem, having the glory of God, it's filled with a radiance like a rare jewel. It's clear as crystal, and the picture is likely the gleam and shimmer of a beautiful diamond. The people of God are symbolized as a great city coming down from heaven. The walls, the gates, the great high wall represents how the unclean and the wicked cannot enter into fellowship with God. I think that's why we sing that song that says, none but the righteous shall see God. Nothing unclean, it says, will ever enter into it, nor anyone who does what is detestable or false, but only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life. The walls show that no one can enter, unless they are in fellowship with God. That's why in that day they're going to sing a song that says we have a strong city. He sets up salvation as walls, and then there are bulwarks, there are towers. Open the gates, that the righteous nation that keeps the faith shall enter in. The scripture from Ephesians says, so then you are no longer strangers, you're no longer aliens, but we are now fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of God, built on the foundation of the apostles and prophets and Christ himself. Yeah, the stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. Somebody ought to be thankful right there. Listen, tomorrow I'll be back preaching. Took a 2-week pulpit sabbatical. I preached today, but I have not preached the last 2 Sundays. Pastor Jessica Lawson gave a great word. Last Sunday, Dr. Deborah Coleman preached a great word, but I'll be back tomorrow. God has given me a little rest, and there is a word from Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. You don't want to miss this word, because I don't know about you, but I will bless the Lord at all times. I know the season. I know the world looks like it's in a mess, and that's all right. But I will still bless the Lord at all times. God bless you. God bless your hearts. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I trust and pray that this lesson leaves you blessed. God bless you, children.